Good morning, everyone. I'm in a bit of a predicament here. Alan asked me to put a 20-minute presentation into 10 minutes, and he also asked me to speak a lot slowlier as well, so I don't know, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'll get through it. Just as Alan mentioned there, the BICP has been in circulation since last year, and what we were tasked with doing was measuring the maturity of BIM within the HEI, the private and the public sector. And I think we've done that quite successfully, and I think that we're quite advanced in this area. And what I'd like to do is just run through a quick update of some of the work carried out between June to September, and then what we're going to do from September to December, and then quickly discuss hopefully where we could see a phase 2 of BICP go. So these are the two key documents. I just want to bring these to your attention in case anyone that's the first time they're coming into contact with the BICP. The first report that we did was the BICP Global Study, and that looked at 27 different countries, and we explored 3 questions in there. And I'll get that into the end, but that's free to download, and please go to that link. And what that did was it informed what the different countries were doing in regards to jurisdiction to advance BIM. And then we looked at where Ireland was in regards to these key themes and pillars in the BIM in Ireland report, which is free to download as well in this link. So please go there, download both of them. They're an interesting read, and they're quite light in terms of they're easy to kind of just to flick through. So since the last meeting, we have advanced our case studies quite significantly. We have done case studies at Trinity College Business School, Rathbone Square. Rathbone Square was an Irish SME that, because of the work that he did with regards to BIM, were able to get international work, so we documented how that was able to be achieved. We looked at engineer documentation, another SME, and their BIM journey, and we documented the lessons learned. And something quite interesting they said was that they didn't abandon the traditional workflows, they kind of kept them in tandem with their BIM workflow. And it's only now, after 4 or 5 years, is the actual BIM workflow starting to kind of overshadow the traditional workflow in regards to money coming in. So that's all up there, as well as the Arab BIM infrastructure in regards to some Irish projects, Clinical Education Research Centre in Limerick, and ESB International. And we've cherry one in the pipeline, and we're waiting to get signed off that by MoLA before we release that. So along with that, there's another 15 or 16 case studies up there about best practice of BIM in Ireland. So have a look, but it's not also best practice. There's a number of problems and issues. You know, I mean, it's not all good either. You know? We had our second regional meeting back in June, and with regards to that, what we did was we had a workshop in Dublin, and so we discussed a number of agendas in Dublin with regards to SMEs, problems, clients, education, Pathfinder projects. So what we want to do was look at this in a regional setting, and some of the key items that we found coming from this was that clients, while they're not fully embracing BIM regionally, they kind of see it as an additional cost, and it's only really happening in a fractured sense with regards to larger projects. SMEs, what we found based on this workshop, are not understanding where the benefit is for them, and you really only see it coming from larger contractors. So what we did was we looked at some solutions and put them forward, and in that piece as well, there's a comparison between Dublin and the regions, and we can see some of the common problems between both, and they are common. Even though there's higher maturity up in Dublin, there is still a significant comparison between the problems faced here or across the country. We've continued our public sector consultation. We have talked to South Dublin County Council, we've talked to Fingal County Council, who have rolled out BIM on a housing project. DCC, who are actively promoting BIM and have been requested to implement it through the quantities of any architecture departments. ESB International, which we've heard today, as well as Dublin Airport, who are using BIM technologies in regards to new air baggage handling. So if you go to there again, we have the consultations all discussed, a piece in each one of them. So as long as there's about another 8 or 9 up there as well, which you kind of see what's going on in the public sector. We've also documented HEI BIM programs. As I said, every HEI in the country has reacted to BIM. They have all offered courses within this area. What we have here in the Dublin base is the MSc in Applied BIM, which is one of the kind of only master programs in this area. The HDIP in Galway is another significant problem as well, which has gained great interest within the industry. So what we're going to do now to advance this is we're going to kind of look at each individual course in a bit more detail and put packs up on the website detailing statistics, student numbers coming through, as well as what exactly is within each program. The client group has had a recent meeting, and what we decided at the client group is that we're going to try and publish a client guide for BIM with regards to assisting clients in understanding terminology and understanding what it is and understanding how to implement it. So I know I was talking with regards to Jim from Kirby Group, and he was saying that they're going to source a couple of case studies with regards to this, of actual proof with regards to where monies can be saved. So this is something that we're took on board. We have a 3-month period, but we're researching best client guides at the moment in order to inform us. We have actively disseminated the message to BICP as well as Practice in Ireland. Alan and I were over in Greece recently. It's a tough job, but someone has to do it. So we went to a conference over there, and what we did was we did an international presentation based on some of the great work that's happening here, and we put across where Ireland is. We were also up in the Northern Ireland BIM region meeting, where we gave, along with John Inan, a review of where we are in the south, John within the UK, and then within the Northern Irish perspective. And they were quite impressed where we were in regards to it's something to be quite proud of in regards to such a small country. We are attending Manchester next Tuesday. We'll be in Madrid on tours in regards to the digital innovation hubs, CIF conference in Cork. Alan's going to Brussels in October in regards to the HEI BIM workshop, Digital Construction Week in London, Digital Conference Live 2000 in Belfast, and then the main one, CitA BIM Gathering, where we're going to have a keynote speech in this area of the SAC finals over the year and a half. So some of the publications recently, we have had a conference papers, the Engineers Journal, Irish Building, where we have a section coming in the BIM Handbook, all except for BIM Handbook available to download with regards to those links. So please follow them there and read some of the kind of information there. It's quite informative. So what I'm going to just finish up this presentation on and discuss this part. As you know, we're working with the National BIM Council of Ireland, and they've asked us to help feed them the information which informs their programme. And a significant part of this was they asked us to go out and investigate the stewardship of BIM programs internationally. Now we've already done this in the BICP global study, but what we did was quite light. All we did was look at, is there a mandate, what are the key publications, and who's in charge of that. So what we did with this, we said, right, we're going to go and we're going to pick 9 different countries, and we're going to really look at this in depth. We're going to look at benchmarks, we're going to look at, is there a BIM centre, what are the mechanisms, who's actually running the program, is there funding, what support systems are in place. So what we did was, you can only do so much through a desktop-based research, so we reached out and we established international contacts with regards to key people who are actually executing these programs. And so we established a list there. We can see Dr. Ilka May, Paul Dodd, John Iden, Susan Keenside, Dr. Bill Arsuker. These are all people that are actively involved in regards to promoting BIM within their country. So what we came up with was, we mapped each one of these questions in regards to the different countries. So we looked at requirements, was it government-led industry, entity managing it, BIM centres, stewardship, building smart, key ingredients. So that was done for each one of the countries. So I'm not going to go into each one of these, but what I'll just do is summarise some of the key findings. So what we were interested in was, well, what kind of timeline are we looking at? And what we found is the most common timeline is 5 years. However, in your more advanced countries such as France or Scotland, you can look at kind of mandates within 3 years, while other countries such as South Korea and Finland are a lot more advanced, and they were able to just kind of, I suppose, learn by doing, initiate and go forward. I know in the Irish one, within the public sector, we recommended 4 years. But 1 year is basically on projects with significant infrastructure such as the new children's hospital, while 4 years could be in their lonely school down in Connemara. So 5 years seems to be a reflected time frame of what would be for a country that's not significantly mature. However, Ireland pretty much is, so I think looking within the 3-year time frame would be realistic in their sense. Stewardship and management. One of the key things we found out that 5 out of 6 countries with few that has a mandate are not running it from a government perspective. They have outsourced this to an industry body. So for example, in Germany we have Plan Bonnet, Scottish Delivery Group, UK BIM Alliance, PTNSB in France, so Kerdigi in Finland. So all of these have actually said, right, look, we are going to fund and work with a representative industry body to execute this. BIM centres, while not a key pillar, they are quite active in the more advanced. UK have the BIM Academy, South Korea have the South Korean Technology Centre, CSIC in Scotland, so any of the advanced countries have a BIM centre. And while BICP, to a point, has represented this, these BIM centres have a kind of a larger funding, a larger work base that are kind of patenting this information off of consultancy and moving forward towards implementation. And I think that's where the BICP has to move forward in regards to its value for the second phase. Building smart, except for Scotland, is absolutely vital in all these countries. Support mechanisms, they've all created guidelines, looked at standards, looked at contractual arrangements. So what usually happens is these task groups, such as I said, Scottish Task Group will create a sub one which will look at this, and these all feed then into the overall one. And benchmarks. Benchmarks is not mature in many of the countries. Most of them are looking at how to measure it, but are finding it difficult. Scotland have cracked it to a point. They have a return on investment tool that you fill out to kind of get you an exact figure of what you're exposed to save. So that's going to become live, and you'll be able to view that. But go to the Scottish Future Trust page, there's some excellent information there. So here's a couple of the key things that I found. All mandates, high level engagement with government, industry and academia, development of guideline protocols and technicals to centralise the use of BIM paramount. A number of specialist communities are usually established to help guide this process. Each jurisdiction has or will investigate the contractual framework, and a number of countries such as UK, Germany, Scotland have programs that require specific pilot projects to serve as a learning tool. So moving forward, that's the last slide, where we see the BICP going from September to December is we're going to look at more case studies. This phase 2 of the global BIM study will be narrowed to an even further 5 jurisdictions, and from there we will even kind of look for further information in regards to value proposition. Third level BIM training, I explain what we're looking at doing with the packs and talking the further third levels. We're going to continue the public sector consultation. The BIM gathering will be a showcase of the findings of BICP, and as I said, hopefully the NBC roadmap will be involve a significant amount of the research that we've helped provide. So thanks for your time, and I hope you enjoyed.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.